all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us tonight. I've had quite the journey in my career, working as a special education teacher. And trust me, it's been a roller coaster ride. In fact, my manager once told me, "Rusty, your teaching is so special that even the alphabet feels challenged." While working as a special education teacher, this is what my manager said about my work. "Rusty, your idea of a spelling bee was more like a spelling D." So, there I was on a coffee break when one of my colleagues said to me, "Even the Where's Waldo book is easier to find than your lesson plans." One of my colleagues dropped this gem on Monday. I've seen better organizational skills at a toddler's tea party. I had to hold back laughter when my team commented on my work like this. "Your classroom is like a black hole for attention spans." The other day, my boss had this to say about my work. "You make math so confusing, even Einstein would need a calculator." Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday. "Your teaching style is so unique, it's like you're speaking a different language." Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? When you said let's learn about history, the kids thought you were talking about last week. Guess what my manager said during our meeting? "Even GPS can't navigate through your lesson plans." Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my team said this about my work. "I've seen more enthusiasm from a sloth on a rainy day." In the realm of unbelievable feedback, my administrator said this about my work. "Your classroom decorations are so outdated, they're practically antiques." So, my team leader came up with this singer about my work. "I heard your geography lesson involved a map of Narnia." Picture this. My executive's comment on my work went something like this: "You make teaching look like a game of chess played in the dark." Another day I went to work and my manager said, "I've seen more engagement at a mime convention." Just this Wednesday my colleague said this about me. "Your idea of a science experiment was letting the hamster loose and calling it biology." So, my manager dropped this gem about my work recently. "Your class schedule is like a random lottery." Ever had your work summed up by your chief in a single sentence? Mine did. And it was, "Your classroom organization is so chaotic, it's an art form." So, there I was on a coffee break when one of my colleagues said to me, "Your teaching is so special it's almost avant-garde." My employer's feedback was quite the surprise when he said, "You make teaching seem like an extreme sport, with the kids as unwilling participants." I couldn't believe it when my executive remarked this. "Even the janitor has a better attendance record than you." Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my team said this about my work. "Your classroom is like a maze, and I'm not sure who's more lost, you or the students." The other day, my boss had this to say about my work. "Your teaching is so confusing, even Siri can't help your students." My team's feedback on my work was quite the surprise. When you said let's explore literature, the kids thought they were going on a treasure hunt. One day this is what my supervisor said about my work. "Your classroom is like a Bermuda Triangle for textbooks." While working some extra hours, my team said this. "Even Google Maps can't find the logic in your lesson plans." I had to hold back laughter when my administrator commented like this. "Your class projects are like abstract art, no one knows what they mean." We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem. "I heard your history lesson involved a time machine that never worked." My boss's perspective on my work took an unexpected turn when he said, "You make teaching seem like a mystery novel with no plot." I had to hold back laughter when my team commented on my work like this. "Your classroom decor is so outdated, it's practically a historical site." Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my manager said this about my work. "I've seen more participation at a snail's marathon." You won't believe the hilarious thing my manager said. "Your math lessons are like trying to decode hieroglyphics." In the realm of unbelievable feedback, my administrator said this about my work. "You once tried to teach physics with a rubber duck and a slingshot." Here's a good one. My head of department's take on my work was, "Your geography lessons are like a world tour, but you always get lost." One of my colleagues dropped this gem on Monday. Even the school mascot has a higher IQ than you. It's like my superintendent woke up and decided to roast my work with this comment. Your class syllabus is like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but none of the options make sense. Picture this. My team's comment on my work went something like this. Your teaching style is so unconventional, it's avant-garde. I've heard some things in my time, but what my superiors said about my work was truly memorable. Your classroom organization is like a jigsaw puzzle missing off the pieces. You'll get a kick out of what my manager said. You make teaching look like a reality TV show, and the kids are the contestants. So, on a Friday, my team came up with this gem about my work. Your idea of a science experiment was mixing ketchup and mustard to create chemistry. Guess what my manager said during our meeting? Your class schedule is so random, it's like bingo for the students. Last week, my controller threw this curved ball. Your classroom is like a maze, and I'm not sure who's more lost, you or the kids. You won't believe what my team said about my work recently. Your teaching is so disorganized, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack in a hurricane. Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? Your spelling lessons are so confusing, even autocorrect can't save your students. Here's a good one. My team's take on my work was, when you said let's discuss current events, the kids thought you meant a naptime update. Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday. Your classroom is like a time machine, it's always stuck in the past. Let me share what my team had to say about my work just yesterday. Even a GPS couldn't guide your students through your lectures. I had to hold back laughter when my team commented on my work like this. Your idea of art class involves finger painting with invisible ink. So, my manager dropped this gem about my work recently. You make teaching seem like an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? No one knows what's happening. Picture this. My executives comment on my work went something like this. Your classroom decorations are so outdated, they belong in a museum. In the realm of unbelievable feedback, my administrator said this about my work. I've seen more enthusiasm at a Sloth's family reunion. So, on a Friday, my team came up with this gem about my work. Your math lessons are so perplexing, they should come with a warning label. You'll get a kick out of what my manager said. You once tried to teach history using a magic 8-ball. I've heard some things in my time, but what my superior said about my work was truly memorable. Your geography lessons make the Bermuda Triangle look easy to navigate. We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem. Even the class pet has more motivation than you. Just this Wednesday, my colleagues said this about me. Your class projects are like abstract poetry open to interpretation but mostly gibberish. While working some extra hours, my team said this. Your teaching style is so unique, it's like you're speaking a secret code. Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my manager said this about my work. Your classroom organization is like a puzzle with missing pieces and no picture on the box. One of my colleagues dropped this gem on Monday. You make teaching look like a circus act, and the students are the clowns. So, there I was on a coffee break when one of my colleagues said to me, your idea of a science experiment was trying to turn water into wine. Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? Your class schedule is like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but every choice leads to confusion. Here's a good one. My head of department's take on my work was, your classroom is so chaotic that even the janitor refuses to clean it up. Thank you all for being such a fantastic audience tonight. I hope you had as much fun as I did sharing my special teaching journey with you. Remember, laughter is the best medicine, and I've certainly had my fair share of it in the classroom. Before we go, I'd like to leave you with one last thought. My manager once told me, Rusty, you've turned teaching into an extreme sport. The students are the obstacles, and you're the one tripping over them. Thank you, and good night, everyone. Thank you for being here and have a good day. See you on the next one.
And we all got dreams, we all want things. But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything?
Hey, I may be the worst at my job, but at least I am entertaining. Leave a comment down below, and let me know what your manager is saying about your work. And if you didn't enjoy this show, well, I promise I'll try even harder to disappoint you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay employed, and keep smiling.